Is not the first state in order to offer medical aid in dying, or some refer to it as assisted suicide, but it is one of the most restricted laws on the books in any state, which is in part how this bill finally made it over the finish line. So here are the requirements. You must be an adult, a New York resident with an incurable, irreversible terminal illness expected to die within 6 months. You must ask for this in writing and verbally, and it must be recorded. The patient must also be able to administer the medication themselves, and then 2 doctors must sign off on this. And the big difference in New York's law, a patient must undergo a mandatory mental health screening. It's required whether or not the doctor has concerns about the patient's mental health. There is a court fight happening right now, Catholic and religious orders opposing this law. However, this is still accessible in religious medical facilities, but the doctor can voluntarily recuse him or herself.
This peace of mind might be one of the greatest benefits to this being a care option. It's something that kind of provides its own palliative effect.
It was an incredibly difficult decision and challenging decision to move to Oregon across the country to access medical aid in dying. So to have this opportunity for New Yorkers so that other New Yorkers don't have to do the same, and who can then choose to die through medical aid in dying at home with their loved ones and friends surrounding them, it is, I think, other than dying peacefully in your sleep, it is an option that most people would want to have.
Now, for those who are worried, the death certificate will say suicide. This law explicitly states that the cause of death will be the patient's underlying condition.